Who doesn't love perennials? You know, those plants that come back year after year in your garden. Well, I love them. But sometimes it's time to move them around, or maybe you want to add some. A lot of people don't think about the fall as being a great time to do this, but it actually is. Late summer and early fall is ideal for planting and transplanting most perennials. So what I'm doing today is I'm actually going to move some daylilies. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm cutting away the old scapes. When the scapes begin to look like this, it's typically a good time to move the daylilies. You see, there's still enough time left in the season for them to actually begin to root in. While the atmospheric temperature might be cooler, the soil temperature remains warm. Now there's a problem here that I want to solve. In this case, I'm not planting new perennials. These daylilies have been so abundant, I'm actually going to move some of them. And you can see back here, some of these are a little smaller because they've been competing with this evergreen hedge. So I'm going to lift this particular plant out and move it forward. And you can see even this last year, the scape size was very short. So it was about 2 feet shorter than these. And this is the desired height of this particular daylily, which is called autumn minaret. So as you can see, it didn't take long with my handy cut-all knife to take out all of these scapes. And by the way, a scape is a long stem on a daylily from which the buds and flowers bloom. All right, now with that done, I'm ready to lift some of these daylilies, take the clumps and move them forward here where they get more sun, and by next year they'll be explosive with bloom. So as you can see, this plant is much smaller than the others. It's because it didn't get as much sunlight. So I'm just pulling my round pointed shovel about 5 to 6 inches away from the clump. And I'm just digging a circle around this clump of daylilies. There we go. Now that we've moved the clump of daylilies out of the shadows of that big evergreen, I can see that I actually have about, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fans of daylilies here. So rather than planting this entire clump, of which I can divide it where I'll have 3 fans and 3 fans, so that'll give me 2 places to position another clump of daylilies. So by using my handy knife, I'm just going to go through here and split this clump like that. And so what I have here is some green foliage, which is important. This time of year, if it's getting a little floppy, you can just take the knife and cut a little bit of that back. So that tidies it up just a little bit. But you can see I've got plenty of fleshy roots. So this is an ideal clump to replant in the garden. Likewise with this one, you can see I've got plenty of roots. Cut back some of these, some of the foliage. So you want to make sure you've got plenty of roots with your clump and some green foliage, and now you're off to the races. It's just a matter of working the soil up here and planting these clumps, and as I said before, next year they'll pop out of the ground and be as big as their brothers and sisters. So in this case, we started with a problem. These were being shaded out. Now we're moving them into a new place. We'll have a lot more blooms. So we just made lemonade out of lemons. Give it a try.